Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, when we talk about the Cleveland Browns, we're not just talking about a team that's been trying to find its footing in the NFL for years. No, this franchise has a deep history, a story filled with ups and downs, moments of brilliance and times of struggle. And right now, in this particular season, the Browns are facing some tough realities. They're not just one piece away from contention. They've got some serious gaps that need to be addressed if they want to be serious contenders for the Super Bowl. We're talking about fixing their offensive line, adding real talent at the wide receiver position, and most importantly, finding that franchise quarterback who can lead this team to the promised land. And let's be honest, the offseason was a mixed bag in terms of roster moves. The rookie class, as impressive as it's been, has produced multiple starters, which is promising. But even if Cleveland's front office hits the jackpot again in next year's draft, it's going to take some time for these young players to develop into playoff-caliber stars. This team is in a bit of a rebuilding phase, and sometimes, to accelerate that process, you have to make bold moves. One of the most talked-about topics lately, especially among insiders and analysts, has been the potential of Cleveland parting ways with one of their most prominent players, Myles Garrett. Yes, the all-pro defensive end. Now, Garrett has been a cornerstone of Cleveland's defense, arguably one of the best pass rushers in the league. But insider Albert Breer has thrown a compelling idea into the mix. Maybe it's time for Cleveland to consider trading Garrett. Now, I know that sounds shocking at first. We're talking about a player who has been a face of the franchise, a leader on defense, a player with a record-breaking contract extension just this offseason. But Breer's argument hinges on a strategic rebuild, on leveraging the current talent market to accelerate Cleveland's timeline to contention. So, what exactly is Breer suggesting? Well, he's making a case that if Cleveland could get a haul of draft picks, say 2 first-round picks, a second-rounder in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2027, that could set the Browns up for a major rebuild. Imagine this: Cleveland with 3 first-round picks and 2 second-rounders in 2026, plus a total of 10 picks across the first 5 rounds, and then in 2027, 2 first-round picks and 5 more picks in the first 3 rounds. That's a powerhouse draft arsenal. With that kind of draft capital, the Browns could be building a team that's competitive by 2027 or even 2028, which in NFL terms is a fast timeline. Of course, trading away Garrett wouldn't be easy. The cap hit would be significant, around $45 million in dead money, which is a tough pill to swallow. Cleveland would be taking a financial hit, but the potential return in draft capital could be worth it. Think about it. Garrett, as talented as he is, hasn't yet pushed the Browns into that elite tier of NFL teams. Despite his career-best 5 sacks in Week 8, the team still lost to the Patriots. That's a sobering reality. Individual talent doesn't always translate into team success, especially if other areas of the roster are lacking. Garrett knew what he signed up for with his record-breaking extension, and his on-field temper tantrums might not help his case either. But that's beside the point for now. The main question is whether Cleveland can get the best value for him. If another team is willing to offer a substantial package, multiple first-round picks perhaps, they need to seriously consider it. Because in the NFL, draft capital is gold, and sometimes you have to make tough decisions to rebuild faster and smarter. But let's zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture. Cleveland's current roster, as we've discussed, has some holes. The offensive line, which has been a work in progress, needs to be fortified if they want to protect their future quarterback. The wide receiver core could also use some fresh talent that can stretch the field and create more separation. And of course, the search for that franchise QB remains a top priority. The Browns have tried with different quarterbacks in the past, but they're still looking for that guy who can elevate the team to the next level consistently. The 2025 draft class is shaping up to be promising, and Cleveland's front office is building around it. But even with promising rookies, it's clear that they need more immediate impact players who can step in and make a difference right now. That's where the idea of trading Garrett comes into play. Some analysts believe that the Browns' best move might be to capitalize on Garrett's high value and use those draft picks to bolster other areas of the team. They could use those picks to select a talented offensive lineman, a dynamic wide receiver, or even a quarterback if the right opportunity arises. Now, I want to be clear, this kind of move isn't without risks. Losing Garrett, who is arguably the best defensive player in the league, would be a blow to the defense. His pass-rushing ability is unmatched at times, and his presence on the field commands attention from offenses. But at the same time, the NFL is a business, and sometimes strategic decisions have to be made for long-term success. The Browns are at a crossroads. Do they continue to invest heavily in Garrett and hope that everything clicks, or do they pivot and try to rebuild more quickly with a draft-focused approach? And the truth is, Cleveland's management will have to weigh those options carefully. They have a talented core of young players and a promising draft capital situation, but they also need immediate upgrades. The defense might be solid with Garrett, but the offense still needs a lot of work. The offensive line, in particular, has been inconsistent, and that has hampered the development of their quarterbacks and playmakers. The wide receiver position is another area where they need more talent to give the quarterback some reliable targets. What's exciting for fans is that the team is clearly in a strategic phase, deciding whether to go all in now or to plan for a more measured rebuild. If the Browns decide to trade Garrett, the move could signal a shift in their entire approach. It's a bold move, but in the NFL, bold moves are often what separate the contenders from the pretenders. Cleveland has shown flashes of potential this season, but consistency remains elusive. The defense, led by Garrett, has had moments of dominance, but they haven't been able to sustain it for a full game or a full season. Meanwhile, on offense, the team's struggles have been more apparent. Protecting the quarterback has been a challenge, and the wide receivers haven't always been able to create separation or make those game-changing plays. That's why, in the grand scheme, the draft becomes so crucial. The Browns need to hit on their picks, develop those young players, and integrate them into a cohesive team. If they can do that, they might not need Garrett to be a part of the future. They could build a defense that's just as formidable with fresh talent, and an offense that's more balanced and explosive. So what's next for Cleveland? Well, it's all about timing and decision-making. Do they hold on to Garrett, hope for a resurgence, and continue to build around him? Or do they make a bold trade now, accept the cap hit, and focus on acquiring as much draft capital as possible? It's a tough call, but one that could define the franchise's trajectory for years to come. The Browns have the pieces, the potential, and the strategic mindset to make a move like this if they believe it will accelerate their rebuild. And let's not forget, Cleveland fans are some of the most passionate in the league. They've been through so much, waiting for that breakthrough season, that championship run. They want to see their team competing at the highest level, and they want a franchise they can believe in, one that makes smart, bold decisions. Whether they agree with trading Garrett or not, what's clear is that the Browns are at a pivotal point, and their next moves will be watched closely by everyone in the NFL community. So as we look ahead, keep an eye on this situation. The trade rumors, the draft plans, the strategic shifts, they all point to a team that's trying to find its identity again, aiming for that elusive Super Bowl. Cleveland has the talent, the history, and the passion. Now it's about making the right decisions at the right time to turn potential into reality. We'll be here, breaking down every move, every game, and every development because this is what Browns fans live for: hope, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.